All right, we're reading the last chapter of Esther. We were considering to read the Apocrypha additional chapters of Esther, but we're going to say that for another time. It's a little bit more complicated than what we expected. So we're just going to finish off these verses and discuss it.
King Ahasuerus laid a tribute on the land and on the isles of the sea, all the acts of his power and of his might, and the full account of the greatness of Mordecai, to which the king advanced him. Aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Media and Persia? For Mordecai the Jew was next to King Ahasuerus and great among the Jews, and accepted by the multitude of his brothers, seeking the good of his people and speaking peace to all his descendants.
There goes another book we don't know about.
Well, three very different.
You want to read your version? Your version?
This is the web.
Go ahead and read the web.
And 10:3 says,
Hold on, mute.
Mordecai was viceroy to King Ahasuerus, and was a great man in the kingdom, honored by the Jews, and lived his life loved by all his nation. And then after that, it goes on with something very long that Mordecai said, this is not even...
That's a part.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's why it's blue. That's,
all right.
so it's very short and sweet.
Any words? Anybody? Any thoughts?
I know we're not going to do the extra reading because there's like differences and everything, but I just did it on my own, and it's kind of interesting. It talks about there's a destiny for Yahuwah's people and a destiny for all the other nations. Kind of goes with my Deuteronomy 32 today. Very interesting. Hold on, you're muted, D. I can't hear you.
Can you break down what that is? Because people listening to this recording are not what you're
all right. Well, I read ahead on my extra edition of chapter 10. It says, all this is Yahuwah's doing. I remember the dream I had about these matters, nothing of which has failed to come true. The little spring that became a river, the light that shone, the sun, the flood of water. Esther is the river, she whom the king married and made queen. The two dragons are Haman and myself. The nations are those that banded together to blot out the name of the Yahudim. The single nation, mine, is Yashraal, and those who cried out to Yahuwah and were saved. Yes, Yahuwah has saved his people. Yahuwah has delivered us from all these evils. Yahuwah has worked such signs and great wonders as has never happened among the nations. Two destinies he appointed, one for his own people, one for the nations at large. I kind of like that.
I thought you mentioned Deuteronomy. I thought you were going to read. I was asked.
The reason this connected with Deuteronomy was Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 8 talks about that Yahuwah, out of all the nations, he picked one. And I'll just read it real quick on my sword. Okay, LXX, Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 8 to 9 says in the Septuagint, when the Most High divided the nations, when he separated the sons of Adam, meaning humankind, he set the bounds of the nations according to the number of the angels of Elohim. And his people, Jacob, became the portion of Yahuwah. Yashrael was the line of his inheritance. And that's Deuteronomy 32, 8 to 9.
All right. Hey, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So yeah, we might be in the future at some point going over these books, the Apocrypha books, but we're not ready yet. Anybody else want to share anything before we end this recording? All right, so that was it. Book of Esther is done. Shalom.